Stop right here, before you move another inch, before your finger reaches for that skip button. I need you to hear this. Archangel Michael is on his knees right now, not standing, not marching, kneeling, with his sword lowered and his wings folded. He is calling out your name, not a whisper, a cry. The kind of cry that shakes the foundations of heaven. And the reason he is crying is not because he is weak. It is because something happened in the unseen world. Something that heaven cannot stay silent about. Something that was done for you, and you alone, that you do not yet fully understand. 7 archangels went to war for your name. 7 of the most powerful warriors in all of creation left the throne room of God and stepped into a battle you never saw, a storm you never knew existed, a darkness that had been plotting against your life long before you were ever born. They took the arrows, they absorbed the fire, they shielded your name with their own light, and now their wings are torn, their armor is cracked, their light is fading with every second that passes. You might be wondering why you cannot stop reading. You might feel something pressing against your chest, a heaviness you cannot name, a pull you cannot explain. That is not by accident. That is Archangel Michael reaching through the noise of your life, through the distractions and the doubts and the daily pain, reaching all the way to the deepest part of your spirit and saying, please, stay. I need you to hear this. So I am asking you, not as a stranger, but as someone who was sent this message for you, to stay right here, read every word, let it move through you, because what you are about to receive is not just a message. It is a divine interruption in the middle of your ordinary day. And once you receive it, nothing will ever be the same again. Heaven did not send this by chance. You were not scrolling mindlessly when this appeared before your eyes. You were guided here, chosen for this moment. And the proof of that is the fact that something inside you already knows it. Do you feel that? That quiet trembling in your spirit. That sense that this is different. That this matters more than anything else you have seen today. That is the fingerprint of God on this moment. That is Archangel Michael finally reaching you after fighting through so much darkness just to get here. Stay with me. The story is just beginning, and you need to hear every single word of it. Before we go any further, I want to ask you one simple thing. If this message is already moving something inside you, if you can feel that this channel carries something real, something meant for you, take a moment right now and subscribe. Not because you have to, but because when you subscribe, you are telling heaven, I want to stay close to what God is releasing. Every day, urgent messages, prophetic words, and divine revelations are being poured out through this channel. And if you are not subscribed, you may miss the very message that was written with your name on it. Click subscribe now, and let heaven mark this as the moment you said yes to staying connected. Now let me tell you what happened. Long before you were born, before your mother held you for the first time, before your lungs drew their first breath of air into this world, God saw you. He did not just see the person you would become. He saw the fire you were carrying. He saw the calling etched into the marrow of your bones. He saw what your life would mean, not just for you, but for the people around you, for your family, for generations that have not yet been born. And when God saw what you were carrying, heaven celebrated. But when the kingdom of darkness saw it, something shifted. Because your enemy understood something that you have not yet fully grasped about yourself. He understood that if you ever stepped fully into who you were made to be, if you ever walked through the door of your destiny with your eyes wide open, the ripple effect would be unstoppable. Nations would shift, chains would shatter, miracles would flow like rivers through every broken place you touched. That is why the attacks came so early. That is why disappointment found you when you were still young. That is why relationships collapsed when you needed them most. Why money slipped through your fingers no matter how hard you worked. Why the dreams you held closest seemed to fade just when they were within reach. It was not punishment. It was not bad luck. It was warfare, a targeted, deliberate, ancient warfare aimed at one thing, stopping you before you could rise. But here is what the enemy did not count on. God had already placed a wall around your life. Not just any wall. An army. Archangel Michael, the commander of heaven's forces, was assigned to you, and alongside him, 6 other archangels, each one carrying a specific anointing for a specific part of your destiny, stood guard over your name. Raphael, whose hands carry the oil of healing, watched over your body when sickness tried to take root. Gabriel, whose voice pierces through confusion, stood near your spirit when you could not hear God clearly. And 5 more warriors, whose names are written in golden fire in the halls of heaven, formed a shield around everything you were meant to become. They did not simply stand and watch, they fought. Every curse that was spoken over your bloodline, they blocked it. Every arrow of despair that flew toward your heart, they caught it before it landed. Every scheme of darkness that was designed to destroy your peace, your purpose, your future, they dismantled it, day after day, night after night, in battles you never saw, and storms you never knew were happening. You thought you were just getting through life. You thought you were surviving on your own strength, but you were never alone. Not for a single moment, not for a single breath. And then the great battle came. It did not come quietly. It came like a flood, like a roar, like a darkness so thick it pressed against the very gates of heaven. The enemy gathered every weapon he had ever prepared for your name and unleashed them all at once, because he sensed that you were getting closer, closer to your breakthrough, closer to the moment when the fire inside you would finally ignite the world around you. Archangel Michael saw it coming. He called the others together. He raised his sword and gave the command, and 7 of heaven's most powerful warriors stepped forward into the storm to protect you. The battle was unlike anything the heavens had witnessed in a long time. Arrows with your name carved into them flew in waves. Shadows carrying centuries of darkness pressed in from every side. The enemy fought with everything he had because he knew this moment was the turning point. He knew that if you made it through this, if your destiny survived this attack, it was over for him. And the archangels held, but not without cost. One by one the arrows found their mark, not through you, but through the warriors who stood between you and the darkness. Raphael's healing hands were pierced, Gabriel's wings were torn, and Archangel Michael himself, the one who led the charge, the one whose sword blazed like a sun in the middle of the storm, took blow after blow after blow, refusing to move, refusing to retreat, refusing to let the darkness reach you. They held the line. They held it with every last drop of light inside them. And because they did, you are still here. Because they did, you woke up this morning. Because they chose you over themselves, your destiny is still intact. But they are not standing now. They are lying down on the crystal floor of heaven, their armor broken, their wings folded, and still, their light dimming like a flame in the wind. And Archangel Michael, the one who never kneels before anything except God himself, is on his knees, his tears falling like rivers of fire onto the ground, calling out your name with every breath he has left, because he knows something. He knows that their survival, their healing, their ability to rise again, is tied to you, to your response, to this moment, to what you choose to do right now. God does not ask this to frighten you. He asks it because this is how heaven works. The warrior who fights for you is strengthened by your faith. The angel who guards your name is renewed by your obedience. And the 7 who are lying down right now, waiting and whispering and fading, are holding on because they believe you will answer. Will you? If this message is stirring something real inside you, if you can feel the weight of what these warriors gave for your name, I want to invite you to do something simple but powerful. Go to the link in the description or the pinned comment below and buy me a coffee. It is a small act, but in the kingdom of heaven, no seed is ever small. Every cup you send is a declaration that this mission matters, that these words deserve to keep reaching people who need them, that you are sowing into something eternal. Give freely and watch what God multiplies back into your life. The link is waiting for you below. Now I need you to take a breath. Close your eyes for just a moment if you can. Picture the battlefield I just described. Picture the darkness that came for your name. Picture the 7 warriors who stood between you and the storm. And then picture them now, lying still, their light almost gone, their wings barely moving. Can you feel the weight of what they gave? I want you to understand something before we go any further. You have spent years believing that the pain in your life was meaningless. The nights you cried, and no one came. The prayers you whispered into an empty room, wondering if anyone was listening. The moments when you felt so forgotten, so overlooked, so completely invisible, that you started to wonder if God even knew your name. He knew. He always knew. He knew it so completely, so specifically, so deeply, that He assigned an army to guard it. Your name was never forgotten. Your name was being fought over in places you cannot see, in dimensions your eyes have not been trained to witness, in a war that has been raging on your behalf since before you took your first breath. That loneliness you felt was not the truth. That was the enemy trying to get you to give up before you could see what was coming. That exhaustion you carried was not weakness. That was a warrior taking hits for you so you could keep moving forward. Every single night you survived, every single storm you made it through, every single time you almost broke, but somehow found one more drop of strength to keep going. That was them. That was Archangel Michael standing in front of the darkness and saying, "Not this one, not today." And now he is asking you for one thing, just one, your yes. Not your perfection, not your strength, not a cleaned-up version of yourself with all the broken parts hidden away. Just your willingness, just your open heart, just the simple act of turning toward Him and saying, "I hear you. I am here. I am staying." That yes is more powerful than any weapon the enemy has ever carried. That yes is what makes wings heal and swords rise again. That yes is what shifts the atmosphere around your life and opens the windows of heaven over everything that concerns you. Can you feel it rising in your chest right now? That is your yes trying to break free. Do not hold it back. Now I want to ask you to do something that will seal this moment in the spiritual realm. Type the words "I am chosen" in the comments below. Right now as you read this, not because it is a ritual, not because the words themselves carry magic, but because when you declare truth out loud, when you put your voice behind what heaven has already spoken over you, something shifts. The enemy cannot stand in the presence of a believer who knows who they are. And when Archangel Michael hears your declaration rising from this place, his wounds will begin to close. The other archangels will lift their heads, and heaven will record this moment as the day you stopped running from your identity and finally stepped into it. Type it now. Say it with everything you have. "I am chosen. There is something I need to show you now." The 7 archangels who fought for your name were not just protecting your daily life. They were not simply guarding your health or your finances or your relationships, though they were doing all of those things. They were guarding something far more precious, something buried so deep inside you that you have barely begun to sense it yourself. A seed God planted it in you before the world was formed. He spoke it into the very center of your being in a language older than words. It is the seed of your calling, your purpose, your irreplaceable contribution to the story of this generation. And it carries a power so great, so far-reaching, so utterly transformative, that the enemy has been trying to kill it since the day you were born. Think about the moments in your life when something tried to uproot you completely. When the storms did not just inconvenience you but threatened to bury you entirely. When the weight of loss and disappointment and betrayal pressed down so hard that you wondered if there was anything left of you to save. That was the enemy going after the seed. He could see it glowing inside you even when you could not. He could sense its power even when you were doubting your own worth. And every attack, every setback, every wound that was meant to destroy you was ultimately aimed at that seed, because the enemy knows what happens when it finally breaks open. He knows that when your seed germinates, it does not just change your life, it changes the lives of everyone around you. It heals generational wounds that have been open for decades. It breaks curses that have passed down through your bloodline for longer than anyone can remember. It unlocks miracles in your children and your children's children. It sends ripples of light into the future that no darkness can stop. That is why the battle has been so fierce. That is why the 7 archangels were willing to give everything they had to protect it, because they could see what was at stake, not just your life, but the lives of everyone whose destiny is connected to yours. And right now, with the 7 lying still, and their light barely flickering, the seed inside you is trembling. It is waiting. It is asking you the question that only you can answer. Will you let it grow? Will you water it with your faith? Will you open yourself to the miracle that heaven has been holding back until this exact moment? Will you say yes to everything that God planted in you before you were born? Because if you do, everything changes. Not gradually, not eventually now. The seed does not need you to be strong. It does not need you to be healed or whole, or completely sure of yourself. It only needs your willingness. It only needs the smallest crack of openness, and the light of heaven will do the rest. This is the moment I want you to give the video a like. Not because it helps an algorithm, though it does, but because pressing that like button is your way of saying to heaven, this is real. This touched me. I am bearing witness to what is happening in this moment. In the spiritual world, your agreement carries weight. Your affirmation sends a signal that you are awake, that you are receiving, that the door of your heart is open. Do it now. Press like and let that small act of faith become a seal on everything you are receiving today. Now let me tell you what is about to happen, because you stayed, because you kept reading, because you refused to skip past this moment even when a part of you wanted to. Something has already shifted in the atmosphere around your life. You may not see it yet with your physical eyes. The changes may not be visible this hour or even this day, but in the unseen world, where the real battles are fought and the real victories are won, the tide has already turned. Archangel Michael is beginning to rise, slowly, painfully, with every ounce of strength left in him. But he is rising, because your faith has begun to flow into him like light into a darkened room, because your willingness to stay, to receive, to open your heart to this message, has given him what he needed most. The other archangels are stirring too. You can almost see it if you close your eyes and let yourself believe. Raphael's hands beginning to glow again, Gabriel lifting his head, the others one by one, drawing on the strength of your yes, pushing through the aftermath of the battle, preparing to stand again. Their healing is not complete, not yet, but it has begun. And the reason it has begun is you. Do you understand what that means? You, the one who has spent years feeling like you were not enough. You, the one who sometimes lies awake at night wondering if your prayers are reaching anyone. You, the one who has carried so much pain and self-doubt and quiet grief that you stopped believing you could be the answer to anything. You are the reason heaven's most powerful warriors are beginning to rise again. That is who you are. That has always been who you are. The enemy fought so hard to make sure you never found that out. Now you know. I want to take a moment right now and speak something directly over your life. Whatever you lost in the last season, God is about to return it, and not in the same form it left. He is returning it multiplied, refined, and carrying an anointing it did not have before. The relationships that fell apart, either they will be restored in a new and deeper way, or they will be replaced with connections that are divinely aligned with where you are going. The finances that dried up will begin to flow again, and this time they will carry with them an unusual favor that opens doors no amount of effort could have opened on its own. The health that has been struggling, Raphael's healing hands are already moving toward you, and what seemed like a slow decline is about to become a testimony that silences every voice that said it could not happen. Your peace is coming back, the deep, unshakable kind. The kind that does not depend on circumstances lining up perfectly. The kind that sits at the center of your chest like an anchor, even when the storms are loud. Your joy is coming back. Not the surface kind, not the kind you perform for other people, but the kind that wells up from the knowledge that you are known and loved and chosen by the God who holds everything together. Your purpose is coming back, clearer than it has ever been, with a focus and a fire, and a certainty that will make every lost year feel like preparation rather than waste. This is not wishful thinking. This is not a promise made in empty air. This is heaven speaking over the life of the one who stayed, the one who said yes, the one who let these words find their way into the deepest part of who they are. You are that one. You are exactly that one. And here is the invitation that heaven is extending to you right now. Stay connected to this stream. Every message released through this channel is a specific word for a specific season of your journey. The revelations that are coming, the prophetic words that are being prepared, the urgent messages that heaven is pressing into this place. They are not for everyone. They are for the ones who are awake, the ones who have said yes, the ones who, like you, felt the pull of this moment and chose to stay rather than scroll past. If you have not yet subscribed, do it now. Make it official. Tell heaven that you are planting yourself in this place where the water flows. Because the moment you subscribe, you are not just clicking a button, you are positioning yourself to receive every word that God has been preparing for your specific situation. You are setting yourself under the flow of daily prophetic alignment. And heaven takes note of every single yes. Subscribe now and watch what God does next in your life. But I want to address something before we go deeper. There is a voice inside some of you right now, quiet but persistent, that is saying, this is too good to be true. Things like this do not happen to people like me. I hear that voice. I know it well, and I want you to know that it is not your voice. It has never been your voice. That voice belongs to the enemy. It is the same voice that has been following you for years, showing up at every threshold of breakthrough, every door of opportunity, every moment when heaven tried to reach you and pull you forward. It is the voice that has kept you small when you were made to be large. It has kept you hidden when you were made to be seen. It has kept you doubting when you were made to believe, and it is lying. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. The fact that you are reading these words right now is not a coincidence. It is not the result of an algorithm. It is the hand of God deliberately placing this message in front of your eyes at this precise moment in your life. Because He knows what season you are in. He knows what you have been carrying, and He knows that today is the day the shift begins. The 7 archangels did not take those arrows for a nobody. Archangel Michael did not fall to his knees in tears over someone whose life did not matter. Heaven does not mobilize its most powerful forces for people who have nothing of value inside them. They came for you because of what you carry. They bled for you because of what you are called to become. And now they are rising because of your faith, because of the yes you are giving right now, in this moment, with everything you have. Do not let that voice win today. Not today. As this divine encounter moves toward its most powerful moment, I want to ask you again, from my heart to yours, to consider supporting this mission. The messages that are released through this channel, the words that reach people in the middle of their darkest nights, the prophetic revelations that arrive just in time for someone who was about to give up, they do not create themselves. They require time, prayer, surrender, and sacrifice. And if this message today reached you at the right moment, if it stirred something in you that had been sleeping, if it reminded you of who you are when you had forgotten, then it has done what it was sent to do. If you feel led to support this work and help it reach more people who need it, the link to buy a coffee is waiting for you in the description and in the pinned comment below. You are not just buying a cup of something warm, you are fueling a mission. You are sending more arrows of light into the darkness. You are becoming part of the reason someone else wakes up tomorrow with hope they did not have yesterday. Give what you feel in your heart to give, and trust the God who sees every seed and multiplies every act of faith. The link is below. Whenever you are ready, now let us come to the part of this encounter that changes everything. You have heard about the battle. You have felt the weight of what the 7 archangels gave. You have let these words pierce through the walls your enemy built around your heart. And something has been happening inside you as you read. Something quiet and deep and irreversible. The seed is moving, that thing God planted in you before the foundations of the world. That flame that the enemy tried so hard to extinguish. It is stirring. It is pushing toward the surface. It is ready to break open and release everything it was always meant to become. And here is what heaven wants you to know about that seed. It does not grow in perfect conditions. It does not need your life to be sorted out and cleaned up and fully understood before it can begin to flourish. It grows in the broken places. It grows in the surrendered places. It grows in exactly the kind of soil you have been living in, the soil of hardship and struggle and quiet faith that kept going even when it had every reason to stop. Your pain was not wasted. Your tears were not wasted. Your long nights were not wasted. Every single thing you have walked through was preparing the ground for what is about to come out of you. The crops that grow after a storm are always the strongest. The gold that comes out of fire is always the purest. And the calling that rises out of a life that has been tested and pressed and refined in the way yours has. That calling carries an authority that cannot be manufactured, cannot be performed, cannot be faked. You earned it in the fire, and now it is yours. The 7 archangels are on their feet now, not fully healed, not yet blazing with the fire they carried before the battle, but standing eyes open looking at you, and the look in their eyes is not pity. It is not gratitude, though they are grateful. It is something far more profound than either of those things. It is recognition. They see you the way heaven has always seen you. They see the chosen one who stayed when everything said go. The warrior who believed when believing was hard. The seed carrier who kept the flame alive through a season that would have extinguished a lesser fire. They see you, and they are standing for you. Archangel Michael lifts his sword. It catches the light of heaven and blazes with a fire that the enemy has not seen in a long time, and he points it forward toward your future, toward the destiny that has been waiting patiently through all the storms and all the battles and all the years of preparation. He is saying without words, the way angels speak to the Spirit directly, the road is clear. The time is now. Walk forward and do not look back. And so this is what I say over you as this holy encounter comes to its close. You are not the person the enemy tried to make you believe you were. You are not the sum of your failures, or the total of your losses, or the product of the pain that found you before you were strong enough to understand it. You are the one heaven chose before time began. You are the seed carrier, the light bearer, the chosen one whose yes today has set into motion a sequence of events that your future self will look back on and call miraculous. The doors that were sealed are beginning to unlock right now, not because of anything you did in your own strength, but because you said yes, because you stayed, because you let this word find the deepest part of you and do its work there. The healing that seemed impossible is already on its way. The provision that felt out of reach is already moving in your direction. The relationships that need restoration are already being touched by the hand of Raphael. The clarity and purpose you have been hungry for are already rising like the sun after the longest night you have ever lived through. You are stepping into a new season, not the same as the last one, not a recycled version of what you have already been through. Something new, something that has never existed before in your life. A season of unusual favor, unexpected acceleration, and open heaven over every area that matters to you. The enemy sees it coming, and he cannot stop it, because you did not give up, because you are still here. Archangel Michael stands tall now. The 7 warriors stand with him. Their wings are healing, their light is returning, and every one of them is speaking your name into the atmosphere of heaven. Not in desperation now, but in declaration. You did this. Your faith did this. Your yes, given in the middle of an ordinary day, in the middle of your ordinary life, did this. Before you go, I need you to do one last thing that will seal everything you receive today. Take this message and share it with one person, just one, who you know is fighting a battle they did not choose, who is carrying a weight they were never meant to carry alone, who needs to know today that they are not forgotten, that the God who sees everything sees them too. Press share and send it to them. When you release this anointing to someone else, you do not lose it, you multiply it. What you give away for the sake of another person's breakthrough comes back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That is the law of heaven, and it never fails. And as you share, as you step into the role of the messenger that someone else needs today, know that the 7 archangels who fought for your name are now standing with you as you walk. Their wings are at your back, their fire is in your steps, and Archangel Michael, who wept in desperation just moments ago, is now walking ahead of you, sword raised, clearing every path that lies before you. You are not alone. You have never been alone, and you never will be again. Go in peace, beloved. The sky has already written down your yes. The angels are already rising because of your faith, and the miracle that has been waiting for this exact moment in your life is already on its way to find you. Nothing will ever be the same again. One final word, from my heart to yours. If the work of this channel has meant something to you, if these messages reach you in the moments when you need them most, please consider supporting the mission by buying a coffee through the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Your generosity is not just helping a channel grow, it is helping words like these reach someone who may be sitting in their darkest night, wondering if anyone knows their name. Because of your support, that person gets to hear what you heard today. That they are chosen, that their warriors are rising, that their breakthrough is already on its way. Your seed planted today becomes someone else's miracle tomorrow. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Thank you for being here, thank you for staying, and thank you for saying yes. Heaven heard you.